and welcome along to the potting shed here at Northlodge. 'Tis time to wake up to the greenhouse, and for those of you that follow close to me on YouTube and on Instagram, you'll know that I don't do any autumn sowings or whatsoever. Instead, I use the greenhouse here, which is relatively small, to overwinter the tender plants that I grow and keep them safe from the winter elements. Now here in the second week of February, it is time to sow the sweet peas. So this is your cue. If you've been waiting to grow along with me to get yourselves ready, I will be sowing over the weekend. In this series of videos that I'll post both to YouTube and to Instagram, I'll talk you through the process that I use to grow show quality sweet peas and what I do to make sure they flower and you get that lovely long stem length. You're looking for 15 to 18 inches of stem length and between 3 and 5 flowers per head. Absolutely perfect for cutting, and even better for like me if you're interested in showing them. Right, so the first process is, obviously, if you remember and you've been following closely, back in October I ordered my really good quality sweet peas from Somerset Sweet Peas. Now, they don't really have very much of a media presence. This is something you're going to have to go old school over to a website and choose. The website is very basic, but the quality of their sweet pea seeds is second to none. So do go across to their website and have a look if you haven't ordered your sweet peas already, or if you have got overexcited, you've done an autumn sowing and now you've got really leggy, floppy, weak plants because they've been too hot, you haven't had anywhere to move them onto, it might be worth doing a backup sowing now and keeping them cool, keeping them slow, and getting nice, good quality solid plants ready for bedding out in late April. So here are my sweet pea seeds from Somerset Sweet Peas that I bought myself. These have been stored in a takeaway tub and they've been in the back of the drinks fridge here at Northlodge since October. Now, the reason why we do that is we want to keep them cool, we want to keep them sealed, and we want to stop them perishing. So please don't keep your seeds in the house. They want to be very, very cool and dry indeed. So a shed, a greenhouse, the back of a garage, but not into a heated house. They will actually perish. So the seeds are here in their little packets. I've got 7 varieties that I'm going to be sowing this year. Again, I'm allocating more space to sweet peas this year. I'm focusing very much on the quality of the blooms and the stem length. So I mentioned it in my earlier comment about chitting, and it is completely up to you whether you decide to chit or not. And that process is very much like chitting a potato. The legume family from which sweet peas come have very, very tough outer shells. I think ambient, they can last for several hundred years dormant without actually growing. They can certainly last in the fridge for up to 8 years and in the freezer for around 5 years. They have a very hard outer coating which at very low germination temperatures has a tendency to rot before the seed actually wakes up and can germinate. So the process of chitting actually softens the outer surface of the seed, allowing germination to take place at much lower temperatures. You get a much stronger germination rate, and when you're buying high quality seeds that are very expensive, these are several pence per seed, and I know it sounds really tight, but you want to make the most of this resource when you've invested into them. So doing the chitting process for me is absolute key. There are several ways which you can do this. You can either take the seed between your forefinger and thumb and rub it very gently on a piece of wet and dry emery paper. That's enough just to scratch the surface of the seed and allow moisture to permeate into them. If you're more confident, you can hold them between your forefinger and your thumb and once again just clip out a little tiny piece of the seed with your nail scissors. Again, just to damage the outer coating of your seed coating itself. Me, I tend to be a little bit lazy, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to divide these up. I've got a series of jars like this, which I will fill with around 2 inches of tepid lukewarm water. I will put my seeds into those, and now I'm going to keep those in the house in a fairly cool place, somewhere where it's bright and warm, around 18-19 degrees, and I'm going to pop them into lukewarm water for around 36 hours. So this is your wake-up call if you're growing along with me. I will be sowing at the weekend. Don't worry, however, if you're slightly behind me. You're always better to sow slightly later than you are earlier and keep the process nice and slow. And as per normal, I will create a series of videos. It will be a series of how-tos guiding you through the stages that are to come, and then I'm going to create a series of them, lump them all together, so if you are slightly behind you can just go straight to my profiles and you can find those and watch them in the order that you want to. So as I say, jars filled up with lukewarm water about 2 inches deep, the packet of seeds into these, and don't forget to label the jar. You want to keep yourself very, very organized at this stage stage, you want to know exactly what you've got, and any leftover seeds you can then put into a mixed pot, and you can grow mixed sweet peas, for instance, for blending them together into arrangements, or sometimes I just like some mixed ones for a different area in the garden when I'm not just growing particular varieties. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. You also need to start gathering your resources, because as you know, I do love the old toilet rolls for these. You can use the very expensive root trainers that you can buy, but we are very, very anti-plastic here at Northlodge. Don't tend to buy plastic at all. We do reuse plastic. You'll see plastic pots about that I reuse and reuse, but I always grow my sweet peas, my beans, my peas in toilet tubes. I've been saving these for months as a very, very sought after, high commodity in this household. Been saving them for months, so if you do need to get your hands on some of these are perfect for sowing very, very deep rooted plants that don't like to be disturbed. Things like sweet corn, sweet peas, and broad beans, they don't like a lot of root disturbance, so these are absolutely perfect. Free, which is great, cheap in the first place, and fully biodegradable, so these can go straight into the ground and will fall apart in April once they're bedded out. So this is the beginning part of the process. To chit or not to chit, that is completely up to you. I choose to chit and make sure you make the most of the very expensive seeds that I buy and give them the best germination rates. So look out for my next video, which will be coming at you on Saturday, as I sow my sweet peas, get them into the greenhouse on a heat mat and get them going slowly but surely, because slow and steady with sweet peas always catches the race. Anyway, if you have any queries or questions, you know how to get hold of me. Please feel free to leave me a comment, like and share.